Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. I'm excited. Today's topic is life is chess, not checkers. I'm gonna say that one more time. I like the way that bomb sound. Life is chess, not checkers. Listen, guys, today we're gonna talk about a lot of different things pertaining to chess and being strategic in every decision you make. Everything you do in life can affect your future self. See, I've noticed in my situation, I'm gonna speak about myself. Guys, tap that screen, run them likes up, let's get this thing started. We're gonna wake them up. In my personal life, I come from a broken situation. So for me, my starting point was already bad, right? Because a lot of things you have to learn before you can become successful. See, it's harder to be successful when you're taught how to not be successful. But a lot of people don't have these conversations. Why? Because it ruffles feathers, it makes people uncomfortable. But in order to be successful, one has to be willing to be uncomfortable. I've noticed that most people attach themselves to anything that makes them comfortable. And that term comfort is an ultimate reasoning for failure. Life is chess, not checkers. You gotta make strategical decisions. Everything you do in life has to make sense. If not, you're gonna fail automatically, right? Let me give you a scenario. Just think of this narrative. Today I was in my shop and I was talking to a lot of guys and we were having a conversation about relationships. And I was telling a lot of the men, rather than jumping into a relationship, I think you should work on your financial situation first and then ultimately putting a woman attached to you that makes sense. Sometimes I realize that a lot of men date prematurely, right? Financially premature. And then what happens is he financially can't meet the woman's expectations, ultimately having a very unhappy woman. But I notice in most cases, when a man chooses to get in a relationship prematurely, and he knows that he has expectations, the logic of a man says that she should want to build with me. Man, it is not a woman's role to make herself uncomfortable knowing that she has expectations and depending on the time limit. See, the problem is there's no time limit to when you're successful. So therefore, she's not leaving because of the fact that you did it, but there were never no steps being made, because it's one thing to say you want to, but it's another thing when your actions say more. Life is chess, not checkers. When you look at the checkerboard, you see everything as a fast, intricate move. Nothing is calculated, it's about moving quick. But when you look at chess is a thinking man's and a thinking woman's game. You have to literally look at your life as a chessboard, ultimately making the best decisions. And one of the best things about a chessboard is the queen is the most important piece. And I tell every man this on record, if you choose the wrong queen, you're guaranteed to lose the game. Because again, if your queen entertains the village, then you know for a fact there's no reason to put her as a queen. She's too busy spending time in the village. So you gotta be mindful. Look at a chessboard again. That queen is the most intricate piece, the most vital piece of everything that you do in life. It's the queen. But when you tell a man that the woman you choose will ultimately make or break you, and the reason why I say break you, because a lot of the times the women learn so many things about you that she could be the most detrimental or distraction to any king. A distracted king will never become the greatest version of self. Sometimes in life, you have to be mindful of who you entertain. Friends, family. Look at the chessboard again, right? The queen and the castle, right? When you look at it, a queen, they say a king could never protect the castle, right? When his greatest enemy is already in the kingdom. Let me say that again. A king could never protect his castle when the greatest enemy is already in the kingdom. You have to understand what I mean by that, because sometimes the woman may be your enemy. There are tons of people who are in relationships right now with people who do not support them, who do not want to help them win. Let's talk from a biblical standpoint. The Bible says that the woman is the man's helpmate. If a woman is not adding any value to your vision, then she is your greatest liability. And that's what the Bible says. That's what the Quran says. That's what the Torah says. So we can say whatever we want. You've been on earth for 30-something years. You cannot trump a book that's been around way before you. Even if you don't play by that all the way to the T, it states statements that make every bit of sense. If the woman isn't the greatest asset to the man being his helpmate, then she is his greatest liability. Let me say that again. Y'all don't hear me. If the woman isn't the man's greatest asset, then she is every bit of his greatest liability. You have to think about this narrative. Why do so many people lose? Because you're playing a game that the person that's supposed to be your partner isn't trying to help you win. Think about it. Imagine taking a test and everyone got a 0 on the test. And you know what you do? You write the same exact answers that everyone got on the test. But you believe you're going to win. You believe you're going to do better. You don't think that's a little crazy? You don't think that's a little bit crazy? Right? Your partner you could be a king, but your partner is making you every bit of a pawn. Look at your moves. Look at your strategy. Look at your decision making. It's irate, right? An unfocused man could never, ever win. In order to win, you have to be focused. See, sometimes you got to be willing to know that some people may look like they want to come for the trip. But that's why they made rest stops, because sometimes you got to leave people exactly where they are. They're not made to come for the totality of the journey. And it's okay. Because again, sometimes the person that might be complaining about you, when you leave, you're going to see that they was the dark cloud that was preventing you from winning. Sometimes that person you believe, that's the reason why you're not winning, is the person you attach to your vision. See, the eyes can't be 20/20 clear when the person that's around you is the darkness that you can't see. Let me say that again. The eyes cannot be 20/20 clear when the person that's around you is the reason why you can't see things clear. This is the reasoning. And that goes for my ladies too. There are men in your life right now that literally are every bit of the toxic person that you don't want to be with. You can't build with something that's not buildable. You can't grow with something that's not growable. You can't learn from something that don't know anything. It's sad nowadays that the people that think they know everything have a very low IQ. They're slow. And we're going to say what it is. The people that want to teach the most are the unwilling people ever to learn. When you are a person that only goes off of what you think without learning anything new, you are the most dangerous individual on earth. There is nothing backing your mentality besides your mouth and your thoughts. Where do you get this information from? Your opinion. I had a conversation with a woman the other day, right? And I want you to hear this good. She said to me, listen to this. And I want you to hear this too, Kenzie. She said to me, a real man would behave like this. I looked at her and I said, a real man would behave like this? She said, yes. I said, your daddy didn't even behave like that. So what is you saying about who you grew up from? Who made you? A real man didn't even make you. But you believe that real man is supposed to behave like this. In most cases, when I hear stuff like that, that is every bit of a person that is only trying to benefit from the person being what they want them to be. So be mindful when a person telling you what you should be as a man or as a woman. Because a lot of the times the things that they tell you to be only benefits them. Of course I'm going to tell you a real man's supposed to pay bills. All the bills at that. Of course the person that always want to go out is the person that never want to pay for nothing. Of course the person that always want to travel is the person that don't want to pay. Of course the person that always want to do something is the person that always want to be there free. Right? This is the truth. They say life is chess, not checkers. Look at the decisions you make. when you really evaluate everything in life that you do, right? The issue is, somebody look and see the video froze. I said video froze, right? When you look at realistically everything, this is where you gotta say to yourself, like, damn, I gotta do better. How does one know how bad they're doing when everyone around them is doing the same thing? You doing the same steps and moves in the new party that you did in the back in the days. You're making the same poor decisions, but believing that you're gonna get further. There are people you can tell them everything that is so right, but their ego and their mentality will make you ever bitter so wrong. And the reason why you're wrong because they don't want to hear nothing is their ego and their goddamn pride. It's their ego and their pride. I watched good men lose good women because of the fact that their ego and their pride got in the way. I watched good women lose good men because of their ego and their pride. And it's sad. I don't want to go off topic, but I'm going to say this. The saddest story I ever heard was a woman tell me she don't mind being a single mother. And I said, are you speaking for yourself or are you speaking for your child? She said, no, I'm going to tell how I feel. I'm speaking because me and my child are better off this way. And I said, then you're the worst mother that ever walked on earth because you're making a decision for your child that they have no ability to make. Because if they had a choice, I doubt they would agree with you. It's chess, not checkers. Because if you really evaluate that, statistics don't say that. Statistics show that women that raise children all by themselves fail. Extremely. Almost in the 80th percentile. That's sad, right? But then yet and still we hear that so many people believe that they're going to do better without the men being there. That's a sad situation. You know what that is? Ego and pride. Come on, man. This is crazy. But again, when you talk these narratives, people get offended. And the reason why they get offended, because of the fact that they're letting their feelings trump logic. And anytime your feelings trump logic, logic will never make sense. Because feelings into the room and logic exits. When logic exits, logic says 1 + 1 = 2, evaluating things to make things make sense. Feelings will make you make things that make sense that don't even make sense. That's the problem with feelings. Anytime you your feelings will make a hypothetical a fact. That's how feelings operate. I drove a Mercedes today. This is the best car in the world. Then the next day I drove a BMW. The BMW is a better car. Why did it change? Because of the new experience. And my feelings said to me that the Benz was better until I drove the BMW. That's the difference between logic and feelings. It's so easy to change feelings. You ever met someone that said they madly in love and they can't see themselves without the person? And in 5 years, they've been broke up for 5 years and they don't even remember being with the person? What happened? Your feelings changed. But again, we play checkers. We don't play chess. A lot of people's decision-making is so poor because of the fact that they come from such poor situations that they don't even see the decisions that they're making. You got to be able to get a new skill. In order for you to become more successful, you got to get more skills. There are people who are not lining up for skills, but they're lining up for opportunities that they can't even capitalize on. This is the new world we live in. I know people who've upgraded people's lives and they still look at people in their face and say, you've done nothing for me. I know people who've upgraded people's lives and they still look in their face like you've done absolutely nothing for me. Is that ego? Is that not pride? Where it can make you delusional based on your perception of your false reality? There are a ton of people who believe that they're more valuable than what they truly are. We say that everyone is valuable in their own right. But reality of the world is if you've made no impact in this world, you have no value. You got to make an impact on this thing. Just because you breathing and existing don't mean that you have the same value as someone putting in work. We're not going to create this false narrative. This ain't no teaching, no classroom setting. This is real life. Just because you existing and breathing don't mean you should have the same value as someone who's working harder. This is the truth. You want more, you got to do more. You got to make better choices. Your decision making sucks because of the fact that you're around people who make more poor decisions. I remember when I was younger. You remember when a kid would get in trouble, and the first thing they'll say is, the teacher keep picking on me. So I'm asking you this question today. Was it the teacher picking on you, or was it you not doing enough? Most people are going to say that it was the teacher picking on me, but they don't see that they weren't willing to do anything. You showed up for a class that you didn't participate in. Because I'm going to be honest with you, it's one thing to show up, but it's another thing to participate. I can respect someone who comes in last than someone who never even ran the race. I can respect someone who comes in last place more than someone who never even ran the race. And the sad part about the person that comes in last, the person that's going to be that person's biggest critic is someone who will never run the race. And this is the God honest truth. There are people who will point the finger, laugh and talk about you, but they're not even willing to do nothing. I had people scrutinize me and say, you don't think you do too much? And I look at them like, you don't do enough. You don't do enough. You do the bare minimum and think you're such a high valuable commodity. When you say you have a job, every goddamn person has a job. That is the bare minimum. To have a job is the bare minimum, right? But when you look at a lot of people's lives based on their perception, I don't have it, so I'm going to falsify like I have it, right? Because of the fact that I'm scared of doing more to go have it. You hear that? You hear that? I don't have it, so I'm going to act like I have it because I want to believe I have it. So by acting like I have it, you're going to believe I have it. But in reality, I don't have it. That's the mentality of today's society. This is the decision making. One must accept the fact that I am not doing enough and I can do so much more. I told one of my good friends the other day, you cannot have Lamborghini dreams with a person that's comfortable being in a Nissan Altima. Let me say that again. I had to tell one of my good friends this, and I love him as a man. You cannot have Lamborghini dreams dating someone who's comfortable in an Altima. Because 9 out of 10 times, if you got Lamborghini dreams, the person that's supposed to be your helpmate should be adding value for you to build and get it. The reason being is because the person that didn't put in the work that you date will be the first person in the damn passenger seat, living off the luxuries of someone else working hard. So sometimes people say, I don't want those things. They do because they lust for them. We watch others win, but yet and still we don't even get in the game. I missed the last shot at the last second, and the person laughing at me is a person in the stands who didn't even make it to the level I made it at. I don't care if you had a D1, D2, or a D3. At the end of the day, you got to a level that the average person will never get to. A lot of people can say they play high school sports, but the average person can't say they went to college and went further. A lot of people can say they had a job, but a lot of people ain't gonna be able to say they retired from them jobs. This is the reality. We live in a very world where everything is about toxic, challenging, combating each other, fighting, right? This is the chess versus the checker mentality. The checker mentality is the mentality that thinks so fast opposed to strategic. A wise man said the other day to me, when you have problems in your relationship, what is the first thing you do? I said, sometimes I leave things alone. I don't complain much because I only complain when something absolutely bothers me. And the reason being is because I'm playing chess in a relationship. Imagine the checker mentality. The checker mentality is the mentality that goes off the reservation and complains about every single thing, not realizing that you're the problem. Because of the fact of the matter is, if I ignore 9 things that you did that bothered me, and every time you say something that bothers you, you become the little boy that cried wolf. So sometimes we don't take each other serious because of the fact that too many people are complaining about the same thing over and over and over. They just find things to complain about. Yo, you can take a person's life and build it and put it here, right? But if their mentality is here, they'll never appreciate the fact that you got them there. You didn't hear me. You did not hear me. You could take a person with a mentality that's here, and you could put them in a position here. But if their mentality did not catch up to here, they're gonna still behave like they're right here. That's a mentality. That's a mentality that a lot of people possess, right? It says 9 to 5 don't get you a job anywhere in life. You have to hustle and put everything on the line to take the next step. 50-50. And the reason why I say this, people diss 9 to 5s. And I hate when they diss 9 to 5s. And the reason why I hate when they diss 9 to 5s is because you definitely need something called stability. And your 9 to 5 provides stability and also something called medical insurance. A lot of people who are self-employed do not have something called medical insurance. Not only do not have medical insurance, they don't have something called IRA. Not only do they have that, they don't have a 401k. Not only do they don't have nothing that puts them in a position or a pension. So therefore, if you're not responsible and you're working for yourself, you would ever be behind the learning curve because of the fact that you did not put nothing away for a rainy day. Some of them people at jobs called 9 to 5s are in positions because of the fact that the job took Social Security. Some of them are in positions because their job offered them pensions. Some of them are in positions because they have 401ks. So therefore, a lot of them are retired because of that. The average person does not have the discipline to continue to put money in their IRA, 401k, and their pension themselves and still pay something called Social Security. The average person ain't gonna pay that. So imagine getting your check every dollar, every day. Imagine you'll have more money now, especially if you're bad with the little bit of money you take home. If you take the money home now and you're not saving, if you had to take the money home, you would even be worse because now you'd be in debt with Uncle Sam. Let's talk about life is like a game of chess. Every move, every decision you make can either bring you to an advantage or a disadvantage, right? Even acting upon planned decisions. Sometimes you have to be aggressive and take action. When there is a problem or a threat in chess, when we sometimes need to be aggressive and take more actions. So many people won't take any actions. They won't take any actions. They want more, but they won't do it. They cry more than they do anything. We're in a world right now where so many people are so complacent with a bad reality that they don't even see that their reality is bad because of their mentality. Reality rhymes with mentality. Reality, mentality. The reason why you're losing is because your reality is not changing with your mentality. Change your mentality, change it with, hold on, I'll say this again. Reality rhymes with mentality. And the reality is your mentality hasn't changed, so nor has your reality. You stay in the same position until you change your mentality, your reality will never change. Everyone that you see in the positions they are, when you listen to their mentality, it reflects their reality. And the people that are in good positions, when you listen to their mentality, they have a great reality. And the people that have a bad mentality, they're in a bad reality. So when you understand this narrative, we don't like this term. Life is chess, not checkers. The poor decision makers. I talked to a guy the other day in my store. He got mad at me when I said, yo, you got multiple baby mothers. He blamed the women. He blamed the women. Let me say this. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all think I be capping. Y'all think I be making this stuff up, right? This man has mad children mothers and blamed the women for the fact they had his kid. I said, what happened was, when you was out there having sex, you was playing checkers. But then when the reality happened, now financially, in order to pay them bills, you're gonna have to play chess. And that's what's going on with him. I said, you thought by impregnating a bunch of women, there will be no consequence. But now your reality is catching up with your mentality. And now your mentality is reflecting your reality. That man got mad as hell at me when I told him, I said, yo, bro, you impregnated all these women, now you gotta deal with the consequences of child support. It is what it is. You know when you make a child, you have to deal with the consequences of making a child. And if it's holding you financially responsible, then it is what it is. He said, they trapped me. Damn. So you telling me, damn. These women took a piece of cheese and they put it on a mouse trap and caught you, right? You got away. Another woman took a piece of cheese and put it on a mouse trap and caught you again, and then you got away. You did it again and again, and come on.
God damn.
This is the mentality that we live in the world today. But if you say something to this man, you become the problem. I'm gonna go into this conversation we had today. I feel like the world is so hypersensitive. You're not allowed to say anything without people getting offended. Everything you say, oh my God, you hurting my feelings. This is the world we live in. You could say something in the most politest way, but people will still take it personal. I think feelings versus logic is the reason why people are in sick situations and you have more problems. Let's not say, but this is how it made me feel. How about you say, that was the logical thing to say, being this situation? But that's the problem people have, right? They don't have logic. But when you break down logic to them, it's like, look, the reason why something might offend you is because your feelings got involved in a situation that your logic should have took the step. You know what? This makes sense. Sometimes we evaluate how it's said rather than what's meant. If I'm talking to one of my friends and I say something to them, they might personalize it if they put their feelings in the way. But if I say something to you, right, that makes sense, you should automatically say, this is not a malicious attack. This is logic. But again, we live in a world where logic has to take the back seat to a person's feelings. And this is why the world is at a deficit. Too many people are such feeling-based creatures. They're trying to change the mathematical equations. 1 + 1 don't equal 2 to them. 1 + 1 equals my damn feelings. I don't care. You made me feel sick. Oh my God. You think that was meant? You think that's what the person meant? If you can ask yourself that question and you can answer it and it's a yes, then you have a real problem. But if you can ask yourself that question and it's a no, then you're clearly the problem because of your feelings, right? Someone said, women don't like logic, only feelings. I think they don't, it's not that they don't like it. I think that's who they are as humans. I feel like most women are very feeling-based creatures. And more men are more logical. So sometimes when speaking to each other, we speak different languages because the feeling versus logic is what changed the narrative. But the woman nowadays who raise a lot of men, especially single mothers, more of them have the same feelings as the woman, because they're becoming very feeling-based creatures. But again, let's get back to this topic. We talking about logic. We talking about chess. We talking about strategy. We got to learn how to create strategy. Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. One more time, someone call in right now. Let's talk about it. What is a way we could play chess? I got it. And not checkers. Someone call in. Let's talk about this strategy. 516-253-1150. Someone said men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I agree. We just think different. And again, where there's hurt, there will always be feelings. And that's the problem when you have conversations. But we got to talk about this conversation. To my ladies on my live right now, to my men that's on my live right now, someone call in right now. I want to talk about it. What is the difference between chess and checkers? when implementing it in your life. When you apply chess and you apply checkers to your life, what is the difference? 516 253 1150. One more time, 516 253 1150. Someone calling right now, right? We got to get to the balance. We got to learn that we want things so fast that we're not even making the right moves, but believe that we supposed to be in the right positions. Life don't happen by chance. Life happens by strategical decisions. But again, we want to play chess, but we're playing with a checkerboard. How are you going to play chess on a checkerboard? We're going to talk about it today. I don't want nobody to sit around and cry about their life when they're the reason their life is where they are today. I don't want nobody to sit around talking about I would be better if my man or my girl will help me. Listen, for you to have a conversation like that means you attach yourself to a bad situation. I would never expect someone to put me in a position that I'm not putting myself in. I would expect them to help me on the way getting there because of the fact that we both going to benefit from it. I'm not going to complain about my friends not supporting me when yet and still the world is bigger than your friends. I told a guy the other day, he said, what if you blow up bigger in Canada? I said, well, it looked like we heading to Canada. He looked at me like, so you willing? I said, yeah. I said, the world, your little 5-block radius may not value you, but sometimes the greatest move is not when you remove out your location. The greatest move on a checkerboard or a chessboard is the decision that ultimately helps you win the game. See, when you want to move in this game, the whole concept of moving is trapping other pieces. In order to trap the pieces that you need to win, you have to have a mentality that allows you to make these moves. Most people are in the same position and wondering why there's no moves happening. Is it the world? Is it yourself? Is it the decisions? Or is it you not being honest with yourself? Right? Let's get into this. A pawn. It's always on the front line, but it's disposable. When they make it to the other side, they level up. But the sad part about a pawn is most pawns won't make it to the other side to level up. That's the little mentality in a small environment. A pawn will not make it to the other side in most cases. You have to salvage your pawns in order to win a chess match. Let's talk about a rook. A rook is strong and sturdy. It holds it down. Your rook is like your security, right? It's an enforcer, right? This is what makes sure it holds the house down. Let's keep going. A knight is tactical, can move in ways that others can't. So this is the piece that will protect you at every single angle, every obstacle, every move. The knight, right? So when you building your situation up, you got to be mindful of these pieces. The bishop is smart, right? Very smart piece, right? We don't talk about our lives to be a chess match. Imagine if you thought about your life as a chess match and had all these pieces around you protecting you to get there. Let's keep going. The queen is the strongest on the board, the best person to have next to you. But I watch so many kings choose the worst queens they could possibly choose, but then believe that they're gonna get to the next level. You can't win with a bad queen. I said this before, the king will never a win in his kingdom when the person is standing next to him is his biggest enemy. Let's talk about the king. Let's talk about the king. The king. The game ends when the king falls. And I'm noticing while we're losing is because so many kings have fallen. And most of these kings are not willing to get up and stand up and fight for their families and stand up and put their children in better positions. Of course you're going to lose when the king is weak. The king is weak. We're supposed to be implementing strategies to win. We're supposed to be laboring and putting the family on our back and working hard while the woman, quote unquote, which is our queen, is strategically helping us make these moves. When I look at chess, I look at a family structure, right? I look at a family structure. It said when the pawn gets to the other side of the board, it becomes what? Stronger. When the children get to the other side, they become stronger. So when you look at your pawns as your children, you have to be willing to get them to the other side by protecting them so therefore you can win. But we don't want to get our children to the other side because of the fact that we are the most selfish culture I've ever seen in my life. These are the days of the most selfish people that have existed. Everything is about individual play. Nothing is about a joint venture or team effort. Everyone wants to be the star. Everyone wants to be the star. But I'm going to tell you something about a star. Even though you may be a star, don't mean you shine brighter than every other star. We got to talk about this, guys. How can we win when life is chess, not checkers? When most of us are playing checkers. Someone calling right now, 516-253-1150. One more time, 516-253-1150. Right? Need more things. But again, it's hard to reevaluate your life when you're in a position where you're not comfortable, right? Says some people don't know how to play chess or checkers. They don't even know how to play Connect Four. I agree. But it's sad because the chess and the checkerboards are analogies of mentalities. The strategical mentality is a more complex game, which is chess. It's more strategic. I realize in my life now that I'm getting older that it's not that I can't do the same amount of work, but I have to learn how to work smarter and not harder. Most people work harder and not smarter, ultimately working harder because they're not working smarter. Somebody didn't hear that. Somebody hear that. Now that I'm getting older, I realize that my body can't labor to the same magnitude of what it used to be able to. But now, getting older, I had to learn how to work smarter, not harder. Most people believe that they'll work harder and not smarter because they're not learning how to strategically do better. Chess teaches you that just like in life, you need to create your own opportunities, right? And never wait too long to make a move because the perfect time may never come, or if it comes too late, your life will be over. And a lot of people are sitting here waiting for their lives to be over before they make a move. You got to also understand that why are you complaining about the friends that don't want to grow? Why? Why do you complain about the relationship that you said is so trash? And go. Because it's not that trash, it's the fact that you may be the trash person and you may be pointing the finger at others. Let me say that again. A lot of the times the people you say that complain about things being trash, a lot of them they're the problem. It's hard to see you're not the problem when you're around a bunch of people that won't tell you the truth. It's hard to fix yourself when you're around a bunch of people that won't tell you there's something wrong with you. Most of us go around people who accept us for being us, opposed to who challenge us for being better versions of ourselves, right? Life is meant to be lived. We spend a lot of time planning to live. And the sad part is most of us aren't living, we actually surviving. There's a difference between living and surviving. Living is doing what you want. Surviving is doing what you have to do. There's a big difference. Living is doing what you want. Surviving is doing what you have to do. And most of us spend more time doing what we have to do, which is surviving. But you have to learn how to live. A successful life will never happen without planning, right? A successful mind won't do better if you're not willing to make certain sacrifices. Playing checkers involves thinking 1 or 2 moves ahead. Playing chess involves thinking 3, 4, or 5, even more steps ahead. There are people that play chess who look at the next move after the first move, and that's all it is. And people that play chess, they're thinking 5, 6 moves ahead, planning your move before you move so they know how to counter your moves. Let me say that one more time. Playing checkers is a thinking game of 1 or 2 steps ahead. But playing chess is 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. See, the best chess players are the ones who can sit there and plan out your next move. And they counter every move you do by having a strategy. In order to counter life, you have to have a strategy. You got to be a strategical person. You got to be on the defense, not a defense. Some people are on the defense emotionally, but not on the defense physically. Listen to that statement. Most people, unlock it. Most people are on the defense, right? Physically, but they're not on the defense logically, right? I want someone to call in. I got some people on my live right now that's speaking fire. I want one of y'all to call in right now. Talk to me nice. Let's talk about it. 516-253-1150. Like I said, I tell every man, be mindful of the woman you attach to your kingdom. Because that woman can literally make or break your empire. And so many men are constantly losing because they don't attach themselves to helpmates. When you look at a woman, and I want you to hear this good, I don't tell men a woman has a certain look. A woman who is meant to be a wife have a certain mentality. A man that is meant to be a husband doesn't have a certain look, right? The husband has a certain mentality. The problem is too many people are attaching themselves to what they physically, visually are attracted to in something that's not making sense aesthetically, mentally. Physically, it makes every bit of sense. But the mind can be played tricks on by seeing something you lusting over physically. Let me say that one more time. Right? You take a woman, or you take a man. Sometimes I genuinely believe that we look at the aesthetics of a person more than the mentality. If you're physically attracted to someone and they don't mentally stimulate you, it is so much easier to lose attraction to that person. Sometimes when you talk to people and you tell people, your problem is you are looking for a type. In most cases, the type is a physical attraction. It goes no further than physical stimulation. If someone isn't mentally stimulating you, then you will never be satisfied. The most satisfied person that you can see in any situation is someone who's mentally stimulated. If I'm not mentally stimulated, then I will never be physically satisfied. And that's the reality. But again, we don't have these conversations. We talk as if these things aren't logical. The most strategic people are the ones who get to build these great empires. The most strategical people are the ones who elevate their positioning, right? But we don't like the fact that things make us uncomfortable. That's why most fail. Because on your way to seeing the best version of yourself, you have to face the ugliest version of self. Why do I say that? You have to face the fact that you're lazy. You have to face the fact that you are inconsistent. You got to face the fact that you have to leave people behind. You have to face the fact that the person you loved may have been good for the last version of yourself, but they're not good for the next version. Sometimes you got to be willing to close the last chapter so you can start writing new chapters. But a lot of us are not going to write new chapters because we're comfortable in the last chapter we was in. You're reading the same book with the same chapter over and over and over and wondering why your life is still the same life over and over and over. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing but expecting different results. You expect different results, but you're insane and you won't diagnose yourself, right? Because you're going to avoid the doctors. Most people don't go to medical professionals, right? So they're not going to get mentally diagnosed that they're insane. So they're going to not diagnose themselves. Sometimes the best diagnosis when you can diagnose yourself. I was insane. I was doing the same thing every day, but I was expecting different results. But it took me a while to realize that I'm the driving force to the success I want. It took me a while to accept that I got to come out of my comfort. It took me a while to say, I don't need to be with someone to be successful. It took me a while to say, I don't need friends, because I'm going to tell you something. On the verge of chasing your success, you will see a lot of people who will either A, fall at the wayside, or B, end up leaving themselves. The better you become, right? And I want you to hear this, Ella. The better you become, the more uncomfortable people around you become. Let me say that again. The better you become, the more uncomfortable the people around you will become who is not meant to go into the next chapter of your book. They will say you think you arrogant. They will say you think you cocky. When you know what you're talking about, the most uncomfortable person that knows you know what you're talking about is a person that's going to get uncomfortable because you're talking what's right. When you say what's right, the person will always project their insecurities on you. When a person won't read, they're going to get mad at the fact that they don't know no better. So you know what they're going to do? You think you know everything. You never heard someone say, oh, you think you smart? You damn right. Oh, you think you know it all. I know more than you. You got to start rebuttaling those same projections, right? With reality. Oh, you think you know it all. I know more than you. Oh, you think you're better than me? Yes, I'm better than you. The same way they can come with their garbage, you got to come with your same garbage. Kill them in their own game. Kill them in their own game. Right? Oh, you think you look good? Good enough to bag you? This is the truth. But I'm trying to tell y'all on record, when dealing with people who aren't trying to do much with their lives, they're going to wake up and realize that they don't have absolutely anything. And then by the time they wake up and realize that, it's going to be too late. I was telling a guy, you heard the other day, T, me and the guy was chopping it up. And I want y'all to hear this story. This is a true story. Him and his dad bought a house together, right? So his dad is older. His dad is probably maybe 60s. And he's probably in his late 30s, going into his 40s. I said to him the other day, I said, you are comfortable with having casual relationships of women that aren't successful because your dad is basically playing a role that the woman should be playing in your life. He didn't want to hear it. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, think about who the person that's meeting you with everything that you're doing. It's your father. So I said, let me ask you a question. What happens to your life when your dad passed away? Because you're not as successful as you believe you are. In your mind, you think you're the God's gift to earth. But when you realize when daddy go, you're not who you think you are. Let me say that again. A lot of the times, you take people who end up getting in relationships with their parents. So what happens is, right, let's say the guy you call daddy's mama's boy. Let's use Mama's Boy as an example. Mama's Boy is in a relationship with Mommy. So what happens is a lot of the women he's able to date women who aren't significantly financially secure because what happens is Mommy is covering what the woman's supposed to be covering. And what happens to that person that dates someone like that? They get a false pretense of reality. So they start dating this person, thinking that this person and them are good, but when Mommy or Daddy go, guess what? Your empire crumbles because you never built anything. Your foundation was weak because the foundation was your mother or your father. You started building a structure from the second level, wondering why the foundation is weak. You started building a foundation, your second floor, and you didn't even start your foundation. The foundation was your mother and your father. But if you tell somebody that, they will get appalled, offended. You trying to play me, I'm telling you the truth. But you see, look, the person in the mirror is so ugly, you avoid the mirror of seeing your own truth. Some people are so unattracted to themselves that they avoid the mirror of their reality. Damn. You don't hear me? Some people are so unattracted to their reality that they avoid the mirror of themselves, ultimately talking about other people because it makes them feel better about themselves. You tell them the truth about their reality, they think they all of that. But I'm like, you not who you think you are. You not who you think you are. I had a man tell me he grown and he pays $700 a month in bills. 40-year-old man paying $700 a month in bills, and you a grown man? Damn. And you tell me your life is not on handicap? And your life is not on handicap? Your life is not on rookie? But when that person loses, that person that was carrying them, they're going to realize they were never walking by their goddamn self. You were never walking by yourself. You didn't build nothing. I sit down on record and say, I bought my house by my goddamn self. No woman, no man, no mommy, no daddy, no nobody. Mommy ain't give me no money to buy no house. Daddy ain't give me no money to buy no goddamn house. I did everything by my damn self. And everything I build, I'll do it by my damn self. Because everything I want, guess what I'm gonna do, Tyler? Go get it for my damn self. But that sounds arrogant to a person that has a weak mind. Anytime you tell a big vision to someone with a small mind, they're gonna always get offended. So therefore, I'm gonna keep offending small-minded people because they're insecure about their corny selves. Never let someone think you're lit, make you feel like you're not lit because their light is so dim. But I'm gonna say it again. I'm not scared to tell my truth. And I don't give a damn who get offended about my truth. Because guess what? I would rather be who I am than to pretend to be someone you want me to be. 9 out of 10 times, the person they want you to be is someone that you would never be comfortable with when you're a big person. Look, I'm a big dude. That's like me putting on a small t-shirt and wonder why I feel like I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable being around losers. Again, you hear this, Tyler? Me being this big guy, I'm uncomfortable putting on a small shirt because of the fact that the shirt don't fit me. So therefore, I will not put on nothing that's not my size. So either A, you're gonna make it fit to me, or B, I'm not gonna put it on. And I'm comfortable with that. But if you say something like this, people will always get offended. Because I'm not scared of living my truth anymore. I'm not scared of walking into the dark tunnels alone. Because I'm going to tell you something about going into that dark tunnel alone. Who's meant to be with me is going to be with me at the end of the damn tunnel. I'm not forcing nobody to pick up their sticks and their sword and shield and come fight with me. I'm okay. And I'll accept the fact that whose will be there at the end of the day. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm a very competitive person. Very competitive. Anyone that knows me personally, I'm very competitive. I'll make you feel stupid before I feel stupid. I'll make you regret me being not around you more than you make me regret being around you. Because I'm going to do way better than you. And that's my mission. And that's how competitive I am. So I'll make you regret more than me. Hands down. I've done it with every person I've ever stepped away from. Friends, family, relationships, anywhere across the board. I'm going to make you regret it. I'm going to make you feel stupid. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's one thing to laugh at someone for being in the mentality they are when they come from a certain environment. I will never laugh at a homeless person for being homeless when they didn't have no help. But people will laugh at anybody for the dumbest reasons because of the fact that they come from a different world. I remember I had to tell a guy, he said, Q, why do you go so hard? I said, because nobody went hard for me. I had to figure out everything myself. I didn't have no help. I didn't have no handicaps. I didn't have none of that. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. And guess what? I figured it out. So only a fool will figure out something and then let someone make you unrealize your truth, right? When you look at the mentality that a person that possesses success, it's always a chess mentality. You have people, and listen to this, I want y'all to hear this. At 40-something years old, they don't even know how the hell they're gonna retire. And you wanna hear something? If you mention that to them, they will curse you out. Don't even know what the hell they're gonna do with their life. But mention it to them, they will hate you because of the fact that you're putting the mirror in their face of their reality. I hate you. I can't stand you. That's how they talk because of the fact that you're like, how are you gonna retire? You can't do what you're doing for the rest of your goddamn life. And mommy and daddy ain't gonna be here forever. So when they go, you're gonna realize that you will never, ever do anything. You was the belt that was holding up them damn pants, was your mother and father. They was holding you up. And you look like you look better than what you truly are. Take that belt off, what happens? The pants fell down. Because you were never who you thought you were. You was playing checkers. You wasn't strategic. You wasn't making smart moves. No decisions. If you look at some of these grown people bank accounts, you would laugh. You would laugh. Laugh. They got baby accounts because of how they behave. They're playing checkers. But they got every goddamn bag and every goddamn shoe. They got a label on it that you can imagine. Because that's what makes them feel insecure about their reality. It makes me as a bum feel better about me being a bum because I have a Louis Vuitton bag. My bag is lit. I got a Marc Jacobs bag. So what? Marc Jacobs don't give a damn about you. When you 65 years old and can't retire and gotta die working on your feet to the day you die, you're gonna realize Marc Jacobs didn't give a mark damn about you. Louis Vuitton did not give a damn about you. Gucci did not give a damn about you, and Prada is sitting in the corner laughing at you straight to the bank. But if you tell them this, you're the problem. You're the problem. Aesthetically, people can look better from the surface level than when you get to know them. Some of the ugliest people you will ever meet is some of the most attractive thinking people that's in the world. A lot of people think that they're better than what they truly are. They make all the poor decisions, but still want the greatest results. It's sad how many people are literally out here playing checkers. Fast, intricate moves with no strategy on how to win. You have to create the structure in your mind before you can create the structure in your reality. We don't want things by our actions. We want things with our verbs, our nouns, our conversations. In order to be successful, you gotta realize that I have to make the steps. I gotta make the changes. I say this with conviction. If someone in my life, please agree with me. I'm willing to walk away from every goddamn person if you're not willing to fight and push with me. I don't give a damn who you think you are. I don't give a damn who you think you are. I will leave anyone that's not willing to help me. Because I refuse to not be the best version of myself for a clown. Whether it's my brother, whether it's my sister, whether it's my aunt, I don't give a damn. Because their life is what they chose. My life is what I chose. I say this on record. I don't come from a rich family. But I promise my goddamn self, a rich family will come for me. I promise myself that. I'm gonna say that one more time. I don't come from a rich family. But a rich damn family will come for me. And I'm gonna do everything it takes to put my family in a better position. I tell you, you could take a person out the hood, give them a better life, but yet and still they still got a hood mentality. Because you can move people to better environments, but yet and still they still have every bit of the same mentality that they had when they was where they were. You don't realize trajectory grows when you grow into a better environment. If you take a flower and put it in better soil, it grows bigger. And why is that? Because it's in a better soil. And the same as the human brain. The mentality of the person grows when you're in environments where you can be normal. I remember I lived in a place, in a bad area, I wanted to ride a bike. I couldn't ride a bike because people would think that I fell off and I was broke if I rode a bicycle. So if I got on a bicycle, right, try to ride a bike for my health, I couldn't even ride a bike because the people in the environment would laugh. But looking back today, I put myself in a position where everyone rides bikes because they're trying to keep up with their health. That's how hard it is to change some people's mentalities. Some people will be who they are till the day they die. They're gonna continue to play checkers, but you gotta learn how to play chess and understand that life is strategic, life is decisions, life is about being complicated. Now ask yourself, are you playing chess? Are you playing checkers? Look into yourself. Who do you have on your board? Who's your pawn? Who's your bishop? Who's your queen? Who's your king? And you'll realize why you're losing. Don't let that go over your head.